real reason like why I'm creating the type of work that I've been creating. I'm constantly doing research, and I found that there's this thing called a healing garden that they have at like hospitals. They found that nature literally helps you heal faster. I know that nature is not always as accessible to people as we need it to be. So I wanted to create an accessible form of nature to bring to people. And in the world of constant, information and stress and anxiety, I feel that it's something that we really, really need.
Okay, go for it.
All right, so we're in my basement. This is where I do a lot of like the production side of my work. So I actually sell a lot of my work at markets or events, and then sometimes I have like my product in like little shops and boutiques like that. So like these are like little 5x7 prints that I have of my work, and then I can go all the way up into like an 11x14, so you can really see a lot more detail. So I make anything from prints to greeting cards, all the way to like little bookmarks, like stuff like this, stickers, and this is like where I cut my cards, and this is my cutter to cut things out like stickers and things like that. And then under here is my printer. This guy does everything and anything that I need to print. We're headed to upstairs, like office space that I have, where I do a lot of like my drawing. So this is actually a journal that I made custom with Danique, and I use it for practicing like different like color palettes and how different like textures and things like play with each other. I think this is actually on the website. As long as I can remember, I wanted to be an artist since I was about 3. I've tried anything and everything from like oil to acrylic down to like crocheting and knitting and even some like sewing things. So I've always had like some kind of creative avenue in my life. In 2020 was when I really started to draw like digitally and really start practicing like my illustration skills and like developing that. I knew at some point I wanted to go to that, but I just didn't know how to really make a living off of it and kind of like form a business around like being an illustrator and like what that looks like and things like that. My big goal was like I wanted to help other artists, but I didn't even know how to get there myself. I think the year that I first like really started, I opened up my online shop and I just sold like a couple holiday cards and people were buying them, and I was like, okay, this is, maybe I have something here. And I would post a couple pieces here and there about like hope and encouragement and just like positivity, just with everything that was going on in the world and where I was at individually with my mental health. My goal was to create something that people could recognize was my art without ever meeting me. And people really started to respond to it, and I would get messages like, seeing your art like helped me get through the day, like I'm having a really tough time, or my mom's really sick and I just feel really alone, but when I see your art, like it just brings me so much joy. And I guess that was like the real point where I really started to see like I'm creating something that's helping not just myself but other people, and I just want to use my gifts to help as many people as I possibly can. And if you have a passion about something, even if you don't have a plan of like where it's going to take you, like as long as you're passionate about it and you do the work, the opportunities usually present themselves. And if you're willing, to put the grunt work in, and there's still opportunity out there in a world where sometimes it feels like you can't go for the thing that you want to try to implement. I don't think it was until like a month ago really where I felt like I really belong here now. Like what I'm doing really does matter, and I'm bringing value to the world. And it took a lot of, lonely, angry, frustrated days and of building where I am and healing myself. And so I think being able to have my art capture all the things that I felt opposite about myself just was a really unique way to heal. and I'm still not completely there, but I'm definitely a lot happier and glad that I worked through that and could see the light at the end of the tunnel, even though it wasn't all the time. A lot to, have confidence in myself that I can actually do these things that people are telling me I can't. Success to me is having the impacts that you want to have. And I could see that I was bringing value in a way that I only dreamt about. And I think having the ability as an artist to bring that value to the world like that, to me, is being successful, because I'm literally changing people's lives. And that's why I connected to Danique so much, because art can change the world, and I feel like I'm living that.